Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy here to deliver your November 2016 general reading. I am still using the Gilded Tarot deck, and I am still drawing 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional crowning card from the bottom of the deck representing your overall energy and advice for the reading. As you're probably tired of hearing us all say, this is a general reading and it's not going to resonate the same for all of you. How could it be with everyone that subscribes? And for some of you, it may not resonate or play out predictably for you at all. So make sure to check your rising and your moon sign as well. If you know them, you may find that one of those signs may resonate for you a little more. Or if you're like me and other people too, you may find that watching all three each of them may play out predictively for you in different areas of your life. So it's a good idea to watch all three to get as clear a picture as possible of the time frame ahead that the reading covers. Thank you. A note of gratitude always to those of you who continue to watch and listen and subscribe to my channel. Welcome to any of you who are new here, and thank you to those of you who continue to follow. Thank you for your support and your feedback, and keep those comments coming because I read every one of them and enjoy it tremendously. I love hearing how the readings play out for you in your lives. A special thank you as well, always, to those of you who continue to reach out for one-on-one readings. It's a pleasure and an honor to read for you, and I appreciate the trust that you place in me to interpret and intuit the cards for you. Thank you to my regular clients, and thank you for keeping up the regular updates in how the readings continue to play out for you in your lives. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can click on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage for more information, and you can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to do a reading for you. I do readings full time, so I'm able to get back with you quite quickly and schedule a reading within a pretty timely fashion. Current turnaround time is anywhere from a few days up to 2 weeks, but almost always within 2 weeks we can schedule a reading for you. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. So let's move right into this reading. This is for Gemini for November 2016. What does the month of November hold for the air sign of Gemini? What will the two faces of Gemini be seeing for the month of November? What do they need to know for the month of November 2016? God, Spirit, Angels, Guides, show me the energies for the air sign of Gemini. Gemini the twins for November 2016. November 2016 for Gemini. Gemini. November 2016. Gemini. Okay. Okay, Gemini. We begin with the Nine of Wands, followed by the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Wands, followed by the Emperor. The High Priestess, followed by the World, and the Three of Pentacles, accompanied by the King of Pentacles. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy is the Knight of Swords. Let's just take a look, Gemini. So Gemini, it looks like the month of November for a lot of you is going to be about sorting out a conflict, an obstacle, some conflict with some people. And it looks like you're going to be getting some help and some really great partnership at the end of it too overall. I feel like for a lot of you, this is oriented more towards perhaps work, career. For some of you, it's I'm getting just a project. It's project oriented. Okay, let's begin. So we find ourselves at the beginning of November 2016 with the Nine of Wands, followed by the Queen of Swords. So the Nine of Wands. Wands is governed by fire. It's a very dynamic, action-oriented suit. It's all about change and movement and action and power. It's about that creating, building, manifesting energy, very forward-moving energy. The Nine of Wands represents having run into a delay, an obstacle, a challenge of some kind that was unexpected, and taking a step back, retreating just a little bit, not a full blown retreat, just withdrawing a little bit to try and re strategize, take another look at it, get a different perspective on it, and try and figure out how to deal with it, and then moving back in and through it or past it or around it. Because the underlying energy is that you're taking a step back to figure something out that you weren't expecting, but you're going to go back in and handle it, because this man is a soldier and he's been through a number of battles and challenges already. And being at the 9-2, tens would represent the culmination of something, and in the suit of wands, tens would represent the end of a long burden or the end of a long challenge of some kind. So the nine represents that you're almost at the end of something. There's just one last challenge or one last thing that needs to be figured out. And and paired with the Queen of Swords, it feels like the key to that. I'm feeling your energy first and foremost off of this because it's swords, which is governed by air, which is your element. Kings and queens representing people who have reached the mastery of their suit. So this queen has reached the mastery of her suit of swords. She manifests the energy of the achievement of the character traits of the suit of swords. Swords is governed by air, and it's all about it's a very cerebral, intellectual, mental suit and energy. It's about communication, our words and our ideas, our thoughts, our outlooks on things, our belief system. It's all about what goes on up here. The Queen of Swords is a pro at this. She's reached a point in her life where she's very clear thinking, very logical, very practical. She's probably educated or very intelligent, very well read. She's all about speaking the truth, seeking out the truth, and seeing the truth in a situation and making decisions based on that, not being impulsive or emotionally driven or spontaneous that way, being very thoughtful and considerate, getting all the information, weighing everything out carefully before she makes a decision or takes action on something. For a lot of you, this is just going to be your energy, your natural inherent energy that you're being called upon to manifest, to get through an unexpected kind of challenge or delay or block of some kind. For others of you, this can represent another person, in addition to yourself, who's going to be kind of key in helping you see the truth and clarity of how to deal with this unexpected block or delay or challenge. And I feel like for a lot of you too, with the Knight of Swords as your crowning energy, the Knight of Swords can represent something being brought to you, an offer, an opportunity of some kind. It can also represent something being brought to you with that air kind of energy that's not always delivered in the best way. It can represent something being brought to you at an or information, something brought to you at an inconvenient time or in an inconvenient way. It's not meant to be delivered coldly or harshly, but it could be something that's presented in a somewhat thoughtless or insensitive manner, some kind of information or opinions of some kind. I feel like for a lot of you, it's something that you've been working on. For some of you, it could be an idea for something that you have or something that you've been working on, either in an actual work effort kind of way or an idea that you've been fleshing out. And you're getting either some negative feedback about it or somebody's being overly critical of something that you're working on. And it's presenting a challenge or a block of some kind or a delay, an obstacle of some kind. And this month is about kind of figuring out a way through that and how to deal with it because it feels like you're almost there. Now, next to the first combination, we have the energy of the Queen of Wands paired with the Emperor. An interesting mix of energies because it can be somewhat conflictive in personality conflicts. And I do feel that there are some personality conflicts, but again, it's in relation to something that you're working on, something that you have been working on, and it feels like again there's somebody's come in with some news or information or opinions on something. Perhaps they want you to do it a different way than what you think it needs to be done, or something you've been working on, somebody's trying to change it or block it. There's just a challenge of some kind. So this Queen of Wands would represent a female, but since this is a general reading, it could also represent a male as well, although it is coming up as a female. And this queen has reached the master of her suit, which is the suit of wands, that fire-oriented suit. So this would represent somebody who's very dynamic, very charismatic, very driven, very ambitious, a real go-getter, not one to rest on her laurels for very long. She's very enthusiastic, charismatic. She's good at getting the job done and problem solving and being creative, because the suit of wands is a very creative, creating kind of energy. And she's also good at inspiring other people to do the same thing as well, and a natural leader of some kind. A lot of enthusiasm and passion with this person. And she's paired with, and I feel like she's playing some kind of significant role in this situation that you're dealing with this month. And the Queen of Wands is accompanied by the Emperor, a major arcana card. He's a different kind of energy. She's more of a creative, kind of find creative outlets, creative ways, creative expression. The Emperor is much more rigid and controlled and structured because he's the Emperor. Every decision he makes has an impact, very serious and long lasting impact. So he tends to be very controlled in how he thinks about things, very controlled in the way that he does things and the way he likes things to be done. It's about structure and discipline and kind of going by the book. Sometimes can be represent an individual who's very controlling or very domineering, thinks his way is kind of the best way, and it's all about doing things by the book and by the rules. That sort of energy. It can represent somebody, it can represent a father figure, a father or a father figure. Some of you, it may be kind of conflictive with your parent or parents this month, or somebody who's kind of in that role. It can represent somebody who, again, tends to be a little too domineering and a little too controlling. So for some of you, it feels like there's, again, how this splits off specifically is going to be different because there's so many of you watching. But again, it feels like there's something that you've been working on either in your job and on your career path, a project. I'm getting projects for some of you. It could even be creative projects. You've been working on something, kind of going along on the path, and all of a sudden something's come in, and the energy is kind of critical. Perhaps somebody trying to change the way you're doing something or change the project itself, or block it in some way. And it feels like there's some personality conflicts going on and some power and control struggles going on. And it's about trying to figure out your way through this. And the key, the energy I'm getting is to kind of take a practical, logical approach to this first and foremost, and also to kind of touch base on with your own intuition and gut instinct. I feel like this is not a situation where you should cave in or give in to whatever these conflicting opinions or critical energy is. But there's also advice too, pointing towards trying not to engage in conflict, particularly verbal conflict, as much as possible. Because right next to the Queen of Wands and the Emperor, we have um, another combination, major arcana combination of the High Priestess paired with the World. So the High Priestess is a card of intuition, instinct, spirituality, kind of connecting with that sense of that divine connection, that intuitive sense of knowing kind of way deep within. It's not so much about thoughts and feelings as it is about that intuitive gut instinct, kind of feeling like the best way to do this, or the what you've been doing is the right way, and actually kind of sticking by that and allowing that to lead you in spite of, again, any differing opinions or conflictive energies that are going on for you this month, Gemini, around whatever this project or this thing that you've been working on is. But the High Priestess, the energy too sometimes is to not engage in verbal warfare or conflict, because the High Priestess is an individual who, in addition to being very spiritual and very intuitively led, she sees a lot, she observes a lot, but she plays her cards pretty close to her chest. She doesn't always say a lot about what's going on. And it's about inner peace and mastery of yourself as well. And again, not engaging in conflict because you don't need to, because you know that you're on the right path. Now, the High Priestess is paired with the World card, which is again, in a way, a similar energy. It's a card of acknowledgement of your own achievements, how far you've come, the work that you've already done and put into this, everything that you've had to go through, that sense of self-empowerment, but just awareness and acknowledgement of your own ability, what you've built so far, how much work you've put into something so far, and kind of believing in your own ability to continue on the same path. So again, it feels like you have this sense of knowing whatever it is specifically that you're working on or that you have been working on. It's as if you know intuitively and instinctively that you're on the right path. It feels like there's some fallout or some conflict, some power and control issues kind of going on. Perhaps people expressing their opinions in kind of an insensitive way or being overly critical. But one, it's about kind of in a way being analytical about it, dealing with it in a very practical kind of fact-based sort of way, but there's also a deeper level of, kind of knowing that you're on the right path and knowing that the work that you've done is good work, that the effort that you've put into it, that you're on the right track, and that you're going to stand by that. But try not to engage in as much verbal conflict as possible, particularly verbal conflict as well, because it's just going to kind of fuel the fire. It feels like at or towards the end of November 2016, you're going to be getting some help and things are going to be moving forward again. We have the Three of Pentacles paired with the King of Pentacles. For some of you, again, whatever this obstacle or block or delay has run into has something to do with financing or the resources needed to finish or complete whatever it is that you've been working on. For some of you, this challenge is going to be perhaps having funding taken away or getting to the end of something and realizing you don't have everything that you need and you're getting some blocks or obstacles or challenges in the way of getting that. But it feels like at the end of November, you are going to be having that. The Three of Pentacles is a card of compromise and negotiation. It's a card, the energy is that of working with other people towards a common goal or trying to get compromising and negotiating to get everybody on the same page, to get everybody focused on working together to accomplish one goal, to accomplish whatever this is that you've been working on. It sometimes comes up when people kind of have to work with a person or a group of people they would perhaps prefer not to, but they kind of have to in order to get the job done, in order to get this completed. So it's all about compromise and negotiation and people coming together to work on this thing and finish it out. And it's paired with the King of Pentacles. So again, we have that earth energy. Pentacles is a suit that's governed by the element of earth. So it's all about tangible stuff, tangible energy. It can represent money, finances, property, resources, job, career, etc. But it's very tangible, earth-driven kind of energy. And this king has reached the mastery of his suit, the suit of Pentacles. So this is somebody who's in a financial and material sort of way. He's either comfortable or well off, probably very good with money, finances, kind of navigating that kind of physical material world that we live in. Probably has a very good solid foundation for himself. He's a good source of support and feedback, good provider energy, very generous, good source of support and feedback in anything to do with the material world, money, finances, resources. And I feel like you're going to be partnering with him. He's going to be coming in. It feels like a really great partnership in a financial way and in a very concrete resources kind of way. And for those of you, I think, who need either money or finances, resources somehow, that this challenge, this block is about getting the last bit that you need to finish something, you're going to be getting it in the form of this King of Pentacles in one way or another. Somebody's going to be coming on board to kind of help finish this thing out. And I think it's going to continue to play out a little bit more in December. Now, your overall energy crowning card was the Knight of Swords. So again, we have that cerebral mental energy. Knights are the bringers, the deliverers are the ones who bring results. So this can represent, for some of you, this can represent an offer, an opportunity coming in as well. For some of you, the Knight of Swords can sometimes be, again, information or news, something being brought to you, and it's just coming, it feels like it's coming at the wrong time, or it feels like it's criticism. It's not meant to be hurtful or harmful, but it's just the way that it's delivered or its presentation is maybe a little insensitive or a little thoughtless. Again, I feel like there's some criticism going on, some blocks or challenges going on. People may be unwilling to release funds or resources necessary to complete whatever this is that you've been working on. You can, of course, apply all of this energy in the arena of relationships in terms of love and romance. Although, to be honest, I'm not getting any of that, and there's no cup cards here too, which governs that realm. I feel like for the majority of you watching this, it's going to be job, career, some kind of work project, even an entrepreneurial project, or even some of you, it might be a uh, like a nonprofit sort of thing, and it's all about kind of figuring your way through this last obstacle to bring something to a close, to finish something out. And I feel like there will need to be some compromise and negotiation. Try not to engage in conflict, particularly verbal conflict, as much as possible, while still standing by your work and standing by the project that you know that you've done a good job and will continue to do so. And then at or towards the end of the month, it feels like somebody's going to be coming in, perhaps an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, coming on board, coming to help partnership, somebody that you're going to be working with to help finish this thing out, and may even potentially be bringing the finances or resources that are needed somehow to finish something out. So an interesting reading. I'm looking forward to getting some feedback on those of you for whom this resonates, on how it specifically plays out in your life. So don't forget to leave comments for those of you who feel comfortable doing so. So Gemini, that pretty much wraps up your reading for November 2016. I hope you have enjoyed it, or at least have found it useful, that it's brought you a little bit of insight on whatever this is for you. I thank you very much for watching it. And again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can click on that little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, and you can email me directly at Maggie, the number one, McGuire@gmail.com. I would be happy to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the November 2016 mid-month readings. And until then, I wish you well, and always joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Thanks so much for watching, Taurus, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.